they're very high leverage, very high ROI thing to do is to have as many as possible running the day-to-day operations for your law firm.
Welcome to my legal academy, helping lawyers work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life.
Sam Mollaei, thank you so much for coming on Law Subscribed. I'm so happy to have you. Please introduce yourself to my listeners.
Hi, everybody, and thank you for having me, Mathew. I'm Sam Mollaei. I'm an attorney, but I've been on the business development side and disrupting the legal market in the last 8 years. At this point, I have 6 law firms and also run an online academy for lawyers, teaching lawyers how to work smart, scale fast, and also enjoy life.
All right, well, I couldn't have gotten a better guest then, because I'm all about disrupting the legal industry. Now, I'm coming at it from let's eliminate the billable hour and disrupt the way we charge for legal services. But that's just one narrow focus, right? There's so many different ways that we could disrupt the industry. So before we even get into your background, I'm curious to know is your why? Why do you want to disrupt the legal industry?
Because I've worked in a traditional law firm my first year as an attorney, and I realized that people are made different. And some people are meant to do what they're told, and some people, I think, thrive when they can pave their own path. So when I kind of got the opportunity for me to be able to build a law firm from scratch, be able to apply everything that I learned from books and from watching a lot of YouTube videos from scratch, and I could see that, hey, if I do it my way or if I do it this more efficient way, then there are some huge benefits. I could basically be able to control my time, able to grow faster, I could do things more efficiently. That really opened up my eyes to basically paving your own path. And now for the past almost 4 years now, I've been on a journey to kind of share these views that I've had from my own law firms, and also be able to break lawyer limiting beliefs, kind of tap into everybody's potential. I strongly believe that people are a lot more capable than what they think that they're capable of. And I try to tap into that, and I try to empower people to be able to achieve whatever that they want.
Yeah. You had some great keywords there, and I almost feel like I need to go into the limiting beliefs thing. But that is for My Legal Academy and so many other podcasts. What interests me more, the subscription attorney, is you said be more in control of your time and be more efficient. But that doesn't make sense if you're billing by the hour, right? So what do you mean by that? I want to deep dive on that. Tell me more about what you mean when you say be in control of your time and be more efficient, and how that works.
So in order for you to be wealthy, you need to make money when you're not actively working. If you are in a field or something that you have to work for your money and it has to be active, then you're always going to be capped, limited. You're going to eventually be burnt out because you're always have to do something to make the next dollar. And you could do it, and some people do it for 10, 20, 30 years, but ultimately you're going to ask yourself, what was this for? Where did I get in my life? Instead, I think people can tap into a couple of big ideas. One is scalable actions. That means drop those actions that are one-to-one. I got to do something to get something back. Instead, what if I put one input for many outputs? One video for hundreds and thousands of people to watch. One funnel, one website that could reach hundreds and thousands of people. Those are kind of scalable actions, your own actions that produces multiple outputs. And the second kind of power that's, I think, very strong and that people can tap into is leverage. Leverage just means that you're able to do minimal input for maximum output. Same idea as scalable, but in different forms. When I think about leverage, there's different types. One is, having people on your team. That's the lowest form of leverage. Another form of leverage is technology. Using tools and things that could really take a lot of tasks off your hands. Another form of leverage is content, videos, podcasts, blog articles, things that you can write once or make once, but that could also be seen by people, and for forms of leverage like that. So, I'm very cognizant of these powers, and everything that I do on a day-to-day basis has to align with those scalable or high leverage actions. So then when I realized this about 6 years ago, I stopped taking on calls from clients because it was a one-to-one. If I'm on a call with a client, that means someone I can't talk to 10 other people at the same time. So I started flowing people through my email inbox. And I realized, even if I'm sitting there, flow people through my email inbox, I have to sit there and answer emails. Well, what if I leverage my team to answer my emails for you? And instead I could focus on creating the system that could bring on the clients and my team to the answer. So I was able to replicate it and apply these scalable and leverage kind of actions to be able to kind of grow exponentially.
Yeah, I've been hearing more and more through like legal podcasts, legal YouTube videos at the conferences about getting out of your email and outsourcing your email to an assistant or virtual assistant. And so this is one of those ideas whose time has come, right? Is get out of your email as a business owner. So it's great to hear you say that. Going back to the people and technology component of leverage. Right now, at least in the legal profession in the U.S., at the time of recording, there's a labor crunch. While there are some attorneys at big firms who are being laid off, in the small to mid-sized market, it's hard to hire attorneys, in part because they can't afford those big, expensive, big law attorneys who might not be willing to, accept a lower salary in light of current circumstances, but they don't have a choice. They can't hire more people. So while that is one scalable thing, and while I would like to hear how you scale with people, I'd like more of a focus on the technology side of it. And, you don't need to give away all your secret sauce, but even if you do, it's great to have a coach or a program or something to participate in that you have buy-in to make you do it, right? But let's start with the people, and how do you leverage with people? But not spend too much time there. Let's get into the technology component and how do lawyers use technology to leverage?
So as you shared, yeah, there's a huge limitation and also, lack of good workforce. And that's why it's the lowest form of leverage. Instead, what I realized is you got to make your lawyers more efficient. A typical lawyer is doing a lot of work. You could delegate a lot of the 80 to 90% of the work that lawyers are currently doing to a virtual team. And that means, collecting the documents, managing the cases, starting the filings, doing a lot of the paperwork. All that stuff could easily be delegated. But the problem is whenever I share this or people talk about this, people's limiting beliefs pops off like crazy. What do you mean you can't delegate this? No, art, law is a sacred thing that everybody, you need to do yourself. Again, I'm here to kind of disrupt that for you and say a lot of your work can be delegated. Ultimately, we are responsible for our clients' cases, and you still want to make sure that everything is foolproof and everything is reviewed and make sure that everything is good. But the first draft of it or the first leg of it does not have to be you. And you don't necessarily have to deal with the clients yourself. You could have your admins, your virtual assistants reaching out to the clients, collecting all the information that they need, and even doing all the paperwork. That could all be essentially delegated, and then you'd become the last layer of defense to make sure that everything is good, checks out, so that you'd be the one to basically essentially file it and get that up and going.
Hey, hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you're a lawyer and you're looking to work smart, scale fast, and enjoy life, right below this video, you'll find a link to book a call to speak to my team so we can tell you how we've been able to help over 500 law firm owners scale their law firm. Now back to the video.
Yeah, and so even that people side of it, right, can be automated. The first pieces of technology that come to mind are things like Typeform or Jotform or Google Forms. I think I've seen Microsoft versions of this too, though I'm not a 365 user myself, right? So like instead of having a human being doing the intake and collecting the data, that could be a technology piece, right? Like what types of technology are you teaching at My Legal Academy?
Sure. So those specific tools that you mentioned are great. I've actually been a big user of Jotform since 6 years ago, and I've probably collected over 30,000 clients' intakes through Jotform. And just yesterday, I was deciding between Jotform or should I consider Typeform. I went back and forth, did a deep analysis, and Jotform ended up being the answer. So if you're looking for the best intake, anytime that you need to gather information, look into Jotform. So that's for information gathering. Usually there's two pieces of information you need. Usually that could be from your prospects when you're trying to qualify people. So that could be a good solution for that. Or two, whenever you sign up a new client upfront, you could basically create a Jotform or a comprehensive list of questions that you need answered, all the questions that you need answered upfront, collect that with Jotform, and then kind of use that to be able to save a lot of time. There's a second thing that most lawyers need to do is to collect documents. There are some document collection tools, but we found out that it's just better to give clear instructions on how to provide those documents for us. Usually I recommend two options. Either one, using Jotform itself. Jotform at the end of the intake, you could ask, hey, upload your documents here. Leave it as a non-required question just in case people don't have it at that point. That's one kind of level. That's where ideally you want to get it. If not, once the client fills out the intake, then we have a VA virtual assistant who reviews the answers, make sure we have all the questions and all the documents you need. If not, then the VA reaches out via email or text to get those documents.
And before we even go further into technology, you and I have both mentioned VAs, virtual assistants, a few times. None of them are sponsoring this podcast, so I'm not going to name drop them. But there are like some virtual assistant agencies that just sell to law firms to like get them to sign up with their virtual assistants. So talk about the pros and cons of having a virtual assistant and why every attorney needs one.
Yeah. So, I mean, I could do a whole podcast about virtual assistants. I've been utilizing virtual assistants for almost 7 years now. I still have my first VA from 7 years ago. She still works with me and her husband works with me. And, it's a joke, but maybe her, kids could end up working with me too. But they're very high leverage, very high ROI thing to do is to have as many virtual assistants as possible running the day-to-day operations for your law firm. In regards to how to find and how to hire virtual assistants, lawyers have two choices. Either option A is to go hire them directly yourself. There are platforms like Upwork that allow you to find virtual assistants. There's the benefits of using a platform like Upwork is you have a big talent pool. You have people that you can be able to kind of hire directly. That's a huge benefit. They're usually more inexpensive because you're paying them directly. And then option B is you could also use a VA agency. As Mathew mentioned, there's plenty of them. But ultimately, what I realized is that most tools and expenses in life, it's not about how much they cost or what are the differences. It's about what am I getting out of it? And are you getting the value out of it that you should be? Don't get stuck in this, which company is better. I would just say any company that you've been exposed to for VA is good as long as you utilize it, as long as they could quickly hire somebody for you, in less than a week. The one that I talk about, I'm not directly involved, but it's my mentor's company. It's called LegalSoft. You can look into them. They also offer a solution like that.